Hey guys, it's Haley Shanley. We're here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the first time ever actually for the series, and we're so excited to be here. Sun is shining. This is actually a big motorsports hub, specifically dirt track racing. They love their late models and sprint cars here in Sioux Falls, southeastern South Dakota, so I do expect many of those to come out and enjoy the racing here this weekend. But it's time for the U.S. Air Force pit walk, so we're going to fly through the pro pits here, give you a lay of the land. So starting out here behind me, we have Boss Racing. Elias Ischel, he's currently on a win streak, 3 in a row. He has had 6 of 8 wins this year, 6 wins in 8 rounds for your current pro points leader, Elias Ischel. And one of the biggest storylines to come out of Fargo just a few weeks ago is Jordan LaBelle, his first official full night of racing. And mind you, following an injury too, he kind of came back, didn't make a big announcement about it. We just happened to see him in Fargo. He came out that first full night of racing in pro light, won the thing, made it exciting. So Jordan LaBelle, certainly one to keep your eye on for the remainder of this season. He's feeling good, he's healthy, and he said his injury sustained in the opening round, of course, a fractured vertebrae as well as a lacerated spleen and kidney, he said it wasn't bothering him in Fargo. So that is very good news. On to Hench's Racing. Cody Cam, the number 53, says he's feeling stronger and stronger on the sled each and every weekend, so making continuous gains. Oscar Norm, of course, he has moved his way up to 2nd in the Pro Points Championship, so he's continually be on the move, ever so consistent, Oscar Norm. I know Cody Cam actually just last weekend went out and had some fun at the Ditch Banger National at ERX Motor Park atop his Ditch Banger sled, his vintage Polaris. So just a little bit of a racing vacation for these guys. Go have some fun outside of the national circuit. On to Shearing Speed Sports here. Hunter Patnode, he said it's been a humbling season, but he is happy, humble, and healthy here heading into Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Lincoln, he is certainly up there, I believe top 3 in the points run thus far. So Lincoln Lemieux, Hunter Patnode for Shearing Speed Sports. Then on to Warnert Racing, update on Dan Benham. He, again, did not have to have surgery on the knee injury sustained in Deadwood. So he's looking to make a comeback, but he's not going to do so until the doctor clears him. But he's been up walking around, he's been at the shop working on the sleds. He's actually here at the races helping out with odds and ends things. We might actually be able to see him up in the booth this weekend. So Dan Benham and his teammate Francis Pelletier, of course, one of our other pro runners, our pro rookie. Christian Brothers Racing up next. Now, Logan Christian had a very exciting podium finish the other weekend in Fargo, and that was exciting because he was amid one of the premier battles of the weekend, and he was very, very patient. Logan, not a super aggressive rider. He just, he had to focus on his strength there, being patient, waiting for the right times to make moves, and he did, and he made it exciting. And one thing we haven't talked too much about is, I can't believe we had not mentioned it, Anson Scheel, his teammate for Pro Light. Anson's dad, Aaron Iceman Scheel, you know that name because he has raced everything from ice oval to cross-country snowmobile racing to snowcross and is very good at. So if Anson Scheel is poised to do well, it's not without it running in his blood and some very great leadership working with his father. So Anson Scheel, we have 5 top 10s this year, so looking very good for Anson Scheel this year, that's for sure, out of the Christian Brothers awning. Up next, we have Team LaValle. Adam Peterson, he remains your current Pro Light points leader. He is Mr. Consistency in Pro Light. And on to Judnick here. Nick Lorenz, he has not finished outside of the top 10 since the first round, where he unfortunately did not make the Pro Light final, but he's up there in the points championship chase. Carson Allred, he has been feeding off of that renewed confidence he gained in Deadwood, where he said they really started to get things figured out, especially with the starts, and he's been great since then. I believe he had a 4th in round 8 in Fargo just a few weeks ago, and Emo Har, their pro seat, has been making progress, says each weekend is a new challenge, and he's up for it. On to Katu Motorsports. Cole says he is enjoying the process. And Travis Kern, his Pro Light teammate, one of the class veterans for Pro Light, I believe he's been in the class 7 years. He's up there in the championship conversation this year, and he has been on rails the last 3 rounds, a win, a 4th, and a 2nd. So Travis Kern been looking real good as of recent. On to one of our local runners, actually. He lives not too far from here, Travis Muller. Now, we said Travis is not running the full season. He and his wife welcomed a baby girl just not too long ago, so congratulations, Mullers. Good to see him back out here. Fun fact for you, you know a rider who has won on all 3 major brands, Arctic Cat, Ski-Doo, Polaris. It's Travis Muller. So we're excited to see him back here this weekend. Pitted next to Travis and the gang, Anderson Racing, Megan Broder. She has regained that red plate in the pro women's class, 3 wins in a row, and the points margin over second place in pro women right now is only 10 points. Both she and Maylene Anderson, who currently sits in second, each of those ladies have only finished off of the podium 1 time this year. So mind you, we are just past the halfway point of the season. We're embarking on the second half here in round 9. So season's still young, anything can happen, but that points championship, it's going to be a heated one. It's going to come down to the wire. Thien Motorsports here. Emmerich Perrin has been absolutely crushing it in sport. He is currently 5th in points, and the difference between your points leader and sport, Kyle Kunstman, and 5th place, Emmerich Perrin, is just 31 points. Now, Aki, the pro rider for Thien, he has been struggling with some back pain, but he has tried a wide range of treatments actually since Fargo, where he was really fighting that back pain. He says he's feeling good heading into this weekend, so that is good news for Aki Pelaya. Fratellone Racing, I know I mentioned at the start of this U.S. Air Force pit walk that this is a big dirt track racing area, and you recognize the Fratellone Racing trailer. They actually race sprint cars, 360 sprints out of this trailer in the summer months. Here locally, actually, here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I know they race at Sioux Speedway, and kind of this triad of dirt tracks, internationally recognized actually, tracks. We have Sioux Speedway, Heimelin. We have Knoxville Raceway in Iowa, Jackson, Minnesota. Brooke Tatnell is their driver. He's out of Australia, but I kind of went off on a tangent there, dirt track, but that's what you recognize that trailer from. So year-round racing for the Fratellone gang, who actually still, we talk about Riley Bester, a pro light rider, who is one of the satellite riders for Team LaValle. He is actually still supported by Fratellone Racing, where he and his dad have been involved for a number of years, and Riley has found a lot of success working with the Fratellone team, so he's still supported by them. KC Motorsports, Evan Dowd, huge win for Evan in round 8 in Fargo, North Dakota. And that was such a big deal because in Dubuque, Iowa, he had separated his shoulder. He's been battling that a little bit, but he didn't take much time off, and in fact was able to get that big win. So it wasn't his first win. He had won in Deadwood and Salamanca a few years prior, but there'd been a bit of a dry spell, so that was certainly exciting for Evan Dowd. And on to Hemmer Motorsports here, we see the 555 Gavin Hemmer back out here, but also his teammate for Pro Light, Mitch Thielen. He's been struggling a little bit, and it sounds like it's just coming potentially down to Ryder just being maybe a little bit too timid in areas, but he has it in him. He certainly does. And to my understanding, sounds like they're going to make some changes in the practice program. Specifically, they had talked about who he's practicing with, because that is a big deal. Who is going to push you in those practice rounds outside of race weekends? So it sounds like they've made some changes in their practice, so we'll see if it's going to pay off for Mitch this weekend. But we did miss a couple of trailers here on the opposite side of the U.S. Air Force pit walk here. Woody's Racing, located just over here. Just in front of them, actually, Trent Whitwer. Trent's back this weekend, and he had his first pro podium in round 7. That was big for him. He's been battling some serious wrist pain from an injury sustained earlier in the season, prior to the season actually, and he'd been taking a cortisone shot, and he says, I got about one night of racing in me, and I believe that's probably what happened on Saturday night at Fargo, is he had his first pro podium Friday night, and Saturday night that wrist just battling that pain. So regardless though, so good to see Trent Whitwer up there in the mix. And at the forefront of the pits here, just across from Boss Racing, Henches, we'll make our way over there, but Zanstra Motorsports, Alexa Zanstra for Pro Women, had her best finish of the season in Fargo on Friday night with a 4th, and that was her 3rd top 5 of the season. So way to go, Alexa. And Jacob Yerk making big improvements from night 1 to night 2 in Fargo, finished with a 13th on Friday and all the way up to a 5th on a Saturday night. So big gains from night to night there for Jacob Yerk. And that just about does it. Thanks for joining us for the U.S. Air Force Pit Walk. So much racing is in store this weekend. We cannot wait to bring it to you here on Snocross Live.